Hey, welcome back to my channel. So tonight I want to discuss something that's been in the back of my mind for a little minute now, and it's why was Nick Fuentes so enraged by Candace Owens? And I think what it is that Nick has this ability to discuss politics and geopolitics, and also local American politics too. And I think that when you start talking about race and racial intelligence, these are very complicated ideas, and they defy what you can just put on paper and say, this is reality, this isn't reality. So I think that Nick is, he has to carry that chain with him and that ball with him everywhere he goes about discussing race. Now, I think that there isn't anything exceptional about Nick Fuentes when it comes to race or anything like that, because I feel like Charlie Kirk, he's a racist. I think when you look at Elon Musk, some of the shit he says, he's very openly racist. I think if you look at who he funds, there's some weird stuff about Elon Musk. So I don't also, when people call countries shithole countries, you know, that is okay. Those are very deep conversations. Those are not 5-minute long here's my point, here's your point, I'm right, you're wrong. That's not what that is. But when he was in the interview with Candace Owens, she said basically, can two dumb people produce a smart child? And that's the $1 million question. The $1 million question becomes, if two dwarves meet each other and have a child, will the child be 6'4"? Is it possible? These are very these are very complicated questions. Also, when you look at eugenics and breeding people for certain qualities, the issue becomes, who's playing God here? Who thinks that they can affect genetics? That's what this comes down to. So I think that if you look at other interviews, like Andrew Tate's interview with Candace Owens, there was a more of a we're friends and we're on the same team type vibe. But I felt like Candace wanted Nick to have that moment where he rips his mask off and just starts screaming out N-word. I think that's what she wanted, but it didn't come. So racial discussions take away from the politics, and the politics is bigger than the race stuff. So that's just my interpretation of it. If we want to talk about race, certain things, you know, certain things are just not going to make sense 100% of the time, but maybe 99% of the time. Like, why are Dagestani why is that area producing such strong fighters? And why does China have such great manufacturing? So there's just different pluses and minuses of all races. And I think that everywhere Nick will go, he will always be asked some stupid, smart, quick question, like about flat earth, about race, that will make him flustered. And it's just hard to take that branding with you. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm just saying that it's hard in this world to having to go around and defending crazy ideas in normie circumstances. So Candace Owens is trying to have a 5th degree black belt conversation in very simple terms or whatever. It doesn't affect me either way, whatever he thinks. It has nothing to do with me. I don't care either way. So yeah. So if you feel like you got anything out of this, please leave a like and subscribe. And also, let's just talk about one more thing. Was that Nick said that in Africa there weren't 2-story buildings and there wasn't a wheel. And then Candace said, well, Egypt is in Africa and they built Egypt. So the proof is right there. The proof is right there. They built some crazy things in Africa. They built the craziest things in Africa. If you look at the conversation as Nick is thinking that the white or the whiter part of Africa is why that was built, and that it's the inherently Africans are more dumb, and that inherently Europeans are more inherently smarter. Also, it's, if you look at like the Chinese, they had their own stuff going on. They had their own architecture and buildings and systems and way of living life. And then if you look at Mexico, the Incan and the Mayan and all that stuff, they had their own program going on. So to think that, oh yeah, they're the best, it comes down to more, why are you thinking like that? Why the need to think like that? Why think that I'm above everyone else because of race? It's a bigger question as to why this person thinks like that. Do they naturally feel like their numbers are growing, or do they naturally feel like the numbers are decreasing? This is the kind of things you have to ask yourself. In what mindset is this person? Also, when I watch some of his streams, I can just see the brand is becoming more black pill. And that is also something that the public also wants. They want to know that things are not going good and that they're not being gaslit. I think that now in 2025, everything is finally coming out into the open. All the systems are collapsing. Promises are not being fulfilled. All the change that is supposed to be coming doesn't really seem like it's coming. And it actually seems like with more debt, things are only getting worse and weirder. And then there's this new thing where, oh, Doge and AI. Yeah, I feel like that's just going to be your prison guard, AI. I could see that getting very weird and very ultra, way more, 10 times more advanced, 1,000 times more advanced version of social credit score. That will haunt you. Thank you. Please leave a like and subscribe.